Hello and welcome to the MBS Show Reviews. I am your host, Sanzo. Joining me today will be James Corck. And James, who will be joining us in reviewing the season finale?
Special awesome guest brownie reviewer, Silver Quill.
Greetings, Masperonis.
I have to say, it's awesome to have you come around on the last review of the season. It's very special for us to have you here with us.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for taking your time to come around and pay attention to this quaint little review show that nobody watches because we are not the big shots.
We are not worthy! We are not worthy!
No, I'm pretty sure we are worthy. We are just not well known.
Oh, okay.
They're all worthy. We just have to shout really, really loud.
And show the show staff our backlog of fan fiction and educate them.
We are not going to talk about our fan fiction. We're not going there, Norman. Because today we are going to be reviewing episodes 25 and 26 of Season 4, written by Meghan McCarthy. These are Twilight's Kingdom, Part 1 and Part 2, the season finale. Oh my god, so big event, big episode. We need the big shots here. That's why Silver is around. And we are going to be reviewing this. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, how do you want to tackle this? Because I mean, this is a big one.
Yep. Oh boy, this is going to be really interesting since this is, how would I put this, one of the biggest two-parters ever since the one where Cadence get married. What was that again?
That is the Canterlot wedding.
Yeah. I mean, that was okay and all, but this one blows expectation out of the water.
There was a lot of hype for it.
There was always a lot of hype for the finale.
Yeah.
Always. This one was kind of special, though, because, okay, there was no thanks Jaime Larson and Alicorn Twilight and all that, but every time that Meghan McCarthy was asked about this episode in interviews, when she was asked what is your favorite episode of the show to write for, she always says Lesson 0 and the Season 4 finale. So it's like, wow, she really has to be proud about her work here. It has to be a really big episode, isn't it?
Yep. And I do remember during a few times when we were on Brony Time. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did bring it up a couple of times. Yeah. That is true.
Yeah, and I did mention this on their show where everyone raised your hands for Twilight Sparkle because it's going to be like Dragon Ball.
She wasn't lying.
Yeah, and that point, the only clue that we had was some synopsis from, I got no idea, whatever, Entertainment Weekly, something like that. Yeah,
it was Entertainment Weekly who they released a synopsis. Then there was another review of the episode before the episode was released. That was very dry in the way they explained the episode and all that. And I read it's okay, dude. I read the whole thing just to understand where the episode was going, because I tend to research an episode even before watching it, just to know or kind of understand where the episode is going, just to don't let my expectations go way too high. And to be honest, I didn't have high expectations for this episode. I was kind of not overly negative, but I was kind of in the okay, relax, it's just a show. We are not going to blow it out of the water.
True. But overall, we've been talking a lot. So, but Silver, what do you think?
Well, I agree that unlike Magical Mystery Cure, I wasn't going into this finale with an impending sense of doom.
So we thought.
But, I mean, thanks to merchandising and the fact that I am not shy of spoilers, I knew parts of what were coming. And that actually increased my interest in some regards. In others, I was already raising an eyebrow.
Before we move on, I need to ask the room. James, did you, obviously you watched spoilers and all, right?
Yeah, I did. I watched the toys, I think I did exactly what Silver did.
Okay. And
in that regard, it's I prepare myself, but I was also wearing a helmet. I was ready to jump in the bunker in case, something didn't turn out to be as high quality as they were selling it as to be.
Okay, and Silver, you did the same?
Yeah, I kept my eye on things, watched Equestria Daily for all the big news and the clips, Even saw that DVD cover on Amazon.
Okay, and I'm coming from the camp where I avoided all spoilers. Nothing was beknownst to me. I got no idea. I only knew the synopsis, and that's just about it.
Okay, so as you may have noticed, we are dancing around the question: what did you think of the episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And I think we should go around the room, saying what we thought of the episode, how it was, if it met expectations or it didn't. So, I think we should get to that in order to just
Dance around the issue?
Yeah, instead of dancing around the issue, because I'm pretty sure people are in suspense saying, oh my god, say what you think of the episode already.
But book number 19 had Celestia and Sombra dancing. but seriously, let's move on. So, shall we start with likes and dislikes?
Well, I think we should start. Yeah, let's start with likes and dislikes. Let's go with that.
Okay. So, dislikes for this episode. Personally, for me, it was the feeling of, oh, I hope that this Corck is not, he is. But I do hope this is all his master grand plan that he wanted to teach Twilight a lesson. Nope. He derped. Okay. Yeah, this Corck, you're a derpy McDerperson. Yeah. But all in all, loved the episode.
So, you're basically saying that your main issue was Discord's personality and the way they handle the character.
It's not really that, because the way that he played it, like, he kind of knew what was going on. Like, he planned it all from the very beginning. Like, this is the step for Twilight to gain her key. If you notice, every move he made, every decision that he did was to help Twilight to gain her key. But in the very end, when he said that he did not saw that coming, that he didn't knew that this was going to happen, like, that kind of broke the delusion of Discord was an awesome guy. He planned this all from the very beginning, and yeah, I mean, that's all could be expectation and headcanons by now, but yeah, that was just me.
Okay. Well, what about you, Silver? Likes and dislikes?
Likes. Well, there are many, many likes because I did enjoy the season finale. In fact, I'd say that it's my favorite one thus far.
Wow. Season finale or two-parter? Or
let's go to season finale. Favorite two-parter is still Return to Harmony.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of let's get the dislikes out of the way because I don't want to sound like a party pooper.
Mm-hmm. No, but that's a very good idea. Then we can focus on the positive stuff.
True.
The biggest thing with this episode is twofold. The first is that it's the same formula we've seen in previous finales, and in fact in most two-parters overall. You have to isolate Twilight, you have to introduce a new villain, have to have this moment of vulnerability, get the princesses out of the way. It's going through all those motions, and 4 seasons in, it's starting to become very noticeable. Like they're almost following an outline for a two-parter and not necessarily letting the story be unique. And that can weigh.
So you're basically saying that it's a formulaic structure, that they are not doing anything different compared to other seasons.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And it was becoming, I mean, especially when Celestia laid out her plan to give all their magic to Twilight, I was thinking this is more to get Celestia, Cadence, and Luna out of the way so Twilight can save the world instead of letting them work together. And that, I kind of rolled my eyes at that because I really want them to be active participants.
Yeah, because we have seen them in... We have seen them inactive before. Cadence has fought alongside Twilight in Three is a Crowd. She's no stranger to action. She's no stranger to battle. She can fence for herself.
In fact, if Three is a Crowd was any indication, she might be an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, because she's like, oh my god, I'm so bored. I need to kill a giant worm.
I had fun.
Yay.
the Crystal Empire is so boring. I need some action every now and then. Shining armor over there going like, sulking his head. Oh, again, okay, that's why. But yeah, I can totally see what you mean. It's like, but I guess it does get boring to just, they have to do something else aside from, oh, Twilight, there is a problem. You have to go there because you need to learn a lesson about friendship. Okay, go. And we are just going to see it here. At least they try to explain that the princesses have to do something with their magic and get rid of it. I can totally understand why you didn't like it, because it does get noticeable after a while, but at least they try to explain it. They try to give a reason.
They try. Fans have been very quick to point out the many holes in Celestia's plan. Just lack of an end game, lack of factoring in Discord again. That he'll just say, "Oh, there's Princess Twilight over there." But to me, all those logistic issues are very valid, but they all come back from the same problem. The writers are treating the princesses, aside from Twilight, as obstacles rather than components to the story. And so it's more a matter of getting them out of the way. But while I say that this two-parter was formulaic in structure, it did that formula very, very well.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, in some ways, I really hope that they'll try new things in the next season, because this one nailed that structure down perfectly.
Yeah. There is proof that the writers can do something new with this show, because if there is any indication, the premiere of season 4 doesn't follow any structure that we have seen in any other two-parter. It's like there is no big established villain. If we count the Vines wouldn't count as a villain. They are just a side effect of something Discord did in the past. The main characters got rid of their powers. There is a flashback structure going on in that they go back between the past and the future. There is a new element introduction, and there is the establishment of a story arc, which is something that this show hasn't done in any of the seasons. And seeing them doing that, at least in the first episode, and like you said in your review of it, they tackled every single fan concern in the first 10 minutes. It is like, that was very impressive. So I'm pretty sure that they can do something else with it. We just have to give them time.
And yes, there will be time before the next season.
Oh yeah, 2015 is so far away. We are almost in June, people. We are halfway through 2014. It's going to be sooner than you think. Remember when we were waiting on season 4?
Oh my.
And that was yesterday, and it's already ended.
So true, so true.
At least it lasted longer than season 3.
Oh, indeed.
You blinked and it was gone. And Twilight was an alicorn.
It's like season 3 is blink and you'll miss it kind of narrative. I really like season 3, but I can understand everyone who didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, thanks, Amy Larson.
Put wings on everything.
No, but
you said that your dislikes were twofold. That was one. What is the other?
Well, it's funny we mentioned Princess Twilight, because that's the other big tripping point for me. Like you say, season premiere, they touched on all the issues that fans had expressed, or at least 90% of them. There's always some component you just can't please. But then for the season, Twilight's role kind of disappeared. She was back to being almost the unicorn librarian with just a new set of wings. And so for a while there, even though I was really enjoying the episodes, in the back of my mind I was like, is she going to do anything? And then son of a gun, here's the finale. That's where she's asking the same question. I thought that was great, but then we got to the princess song, and I think they got it backwards, because I really like that her peers are giving her counsel and encouragement. Luna, in particular, saying, I've been there. I know how hard it is to be patient. Just like in For Whom the Sweet Bell Toils, it's really great to see her using past experience to empathize with ponies.
Yeah, like she doesn't shy away from her past as Nightmare Moon because that gives her a sense of perspective.
But
Yeah.
Silver, you mentioned that the part where people, how to say, you were wondering when is Twilight going to do anything with her status quo as a princess. But I remember a few bronies had been commenting that, hey, we hope that Twilight doesn't change. She's a princess. We hope we get to see more of her, blah, blah, blah. Stuff about Twilight being a princess. We hope we don't see her go away and stuff. And coming up to season 4, nothing has changed that much. And if I remember right, James, you mentioned that during the Trade episode, that was her first time doing something princessy?
Yeah, because she's with a mallet preceding the Traders Exchange Fair and all that. She was doing something princessy, at least something that felt official, which is something that we haven't seen her do in any of the episodes of season 4. Then again, it was so little. She was basically being kind of like King Solomon, and like, okay, you have to decide who is going to keep Fluttershy and the Orthros. And but that felt so fast, and it ended so quickly that it's like, oh, you completely wasted that opportunity to make Twilight more official, regal, and princessy. Like, shoot.
But the majority of
a
the bronies, or the hardcore bronies, or the not us, really didn't want Twilight to change at all. So this kind of fulfilled their wish, but not ours. What do you think? Like, am I overthinking this?
You are overthinking it. Sorry. Go ahead, Silver.
Actually, I don't think you're overthinking it, because it was a concern that Twilight would change. But I think it's important to sort of categorize what people are really afraid of here, and what people are really hoping to see. And well, that makes it sound like I can read everyone's mind. This is my own take on it, but I'm going to hope some people out there agree with me.
Go for it.
I didn't want to see Twilight change into something that she's not. She's always been a little socially awkward, interested in studies, introverted in a lot of ways, but becoming more extroverted over the series. So it definitely did not want that to change, did not want that to go away. For a negative example of how princesshood could have changed her, I actually point to the Rainbow Rocks book that came out not long ago.
Oh, my.
Just to summarize very briefly, Twilight only has 3 real scenes in it. In that, she daydreams about her human friends, crushes on Flash Sentry, and wears a dress with pretty jewels while going to a ball. She has no active role in the story and no elements of the Twilight we all recognize. In fact, she's become the princess cliché: sit around, look pretty, and look at the handsome guy.
Oh my god. And that is an official book?
As well, it's been released by Hasbro. It's been written by the same person who did the Crystal Heart Spell book and Barrows?
GM Barrows.
GM Barrows.
Yeah. I believe that's... No, I'm wrong. That's not the author. Let me just hop on Amazon to find out. But basically, that was the that was an example of the fear of what Twilight could become if they let the princess role dominate her.
That was a problem also present in the Crystal Heart spell book. Did you get to read it?
I did, and I did not enjoy it.
I didn't like it either. I thought, oh my god, Twilight is like isolating herself, pushing all her friends away, not wanting to talk with anybody, and then at the end of the last 3 pages is literally, oh, friendship is the best thing ever, and then they summon the trap card. Oh, wait a minute, no, it's not Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridge. This is just the end of that book, and it didn't end very good. It's like, oh my god, look, the Crystal Heart is activating, and then friendship and dances and book over, and I'm thinking, who the hell wrote that? Oh my god, this is so bad.
Okay, but Rainbow Rocks, it was written by Perdita Finn, so I'm wrong, it was not Barrows. So that's what everyone was afraid she'd become, and why we were all very relieved, even with Princess Twilight, the 2-parter, to see her have that little freak out at the beginning where her wings are carrying her upward. That was just, yes, that's the Twilight we all know. But that was the Twilight we all know tackling a new role. And much the same... And
No,
much the same in Traja.
Oh.
In Traja, that was the Twilight well knew. She was looking at it very practically and kind of buckled when she saw just how much attention she was getting.
Yeah, she kind of like smiling nervously and all that. It's kind of funny how people forget that as long as the official release gets it right, everything else around it is kind of like, I don't know if you saw the interview that well, maybe you did because you were to BabsCon. They were interviewing Andy Price, and he said that the comics and everything else is kind of like second tier canon. So it's like it's not like we should take whatever happens in the books and in the novels and in the comics and in other form of official release to be not all that important. So I'm pretty sure that whatever happens in those books is not going to affect the characters that we know and love on the TV series.
Yes, I agree. And I'm. You guys mentioned the Two of Everything arc that's going on right now. I'm really enjoying that comic.
So am I.
For the way it depicts Twilight and Celestia, and even other characters.
Yeah.
But the thing is, unlike at the start of Traja, we got to see this great scene where the Twilight we know and enjoy is having to react to this new role, and then that goes away for a while. And her role as judge, while I admired how fair she was and followed that one horribly narrow scope rule. I mean, seriously, that thing would never fly in any court.
Yes. Although this Equestria definitely follows Phoenix Wright levels of law and all that. So yeah, we can say that because of that one scene, Turnabout Storm can be canon.
Oh God!
Because the law system is as flawed.
Yeah, but we just don't get to see Twilight really grow in her role over the season, and I feel like the episodic stuff is the real meat of this show. It's what keeps people coming back and these epic closers are fun and a spectacle to enjoy, but at the same time, the real characterization happens during the middle of the show. So when she voices her concerns that princesses are saying, "Don't worry, you're a princess, you'll play your part," I feel like they got that message backwards. That they're saying, "You'll be fine because you are a princess." And I want to say to the writers, no, that's not the right message you want to send to kids. Twilight will be fine because of what she brings to being a princess. Her own skills, her own qualities. It's not the title that makes you important or special. It's what you bring to it. Exactly.
It's what you do with it. Exactly. Yeah.
True that.
I can see now where you're coming. It's like, in that song, they do not talk about you're smart, you're powerful, you have all these sorts of magic powers or anything. No, it's like, you're a princess, you will play your part. And it's like, okay, what am I going to do with my part?
Books.
Look, pretty choreography. Oh, wait a minute. No, the choreography isn't really all that good. when it comes to songs, you have to admit I will agree with you, and also add that the choreography was kind of dry, if almost non-existent.
But the thing is, this was written by Meghan McCarthy. I think we were all awed by Magical Mystery Cures by the choreography there, because if you take a look-see at that was really good.
Well, then again, I don't think the writers would write the choreography down. That is on the animator's part.
True that, but what do we know, right? And
yeah.
Silver, I need to mention something when we say that how Twilight has changed or wouldn't change. I'm going to say this because this is an episode that everyone hates, and I got no idea why.
Why?
Daring Don't.
What episode?
And I got no idea why, because...
Daring Don't, that's the fourth episode where they reveal that Daring Do is actually real.
Yeah, I got no idea why, but the point I'm trying to make is, when Twilight first met Daring Don't, and she and Rainbow Dash were geeking out, that scene made me so giddy with joy that to know that they were geeking out.
Oh yeah, that's the classic Twilight showing through. My mind is officially blown. I think most people were just upset that suddenly Daring Do was real, and sort of a debate of, was that really necessary?
Yeah, I think we're digressing from the real point.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are digressing. Let's go back to talk about the episode,
But
because
James,
I don't
like
know. Yeah,
this.
here. He's so much fun to talk to.
I know, but I don't know if you realize I didn't say what I thought of the
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was saving out my opinion, because like you, Norman, regarded the characterization. Silver Quill regarded the narrative. I think. May I talk about my dislikes that come entirely from a design point of view?
Oh, sure, please do.
Is that my only complaint that I have with the episode, and is the pettiest, most ridiculous complaint ever, and I'm going to add a silver lining to it, is Twilight's castle that just sprouted in Ponyville.
Okay.
I mean, you look at that and you say, oh, look at that! It's the price tag hanging from one of the castle towers.
Okay.
Only for $19.95 on your newest on the closest Walmart. And I am like, that is perhaps since Princess Cadance showed up in the season 2 finale, that is probably the most glaring clear toy ploy that the show has had in a good while. It's like, because you look at that and you say, yeah, that is definitely a toy ploy, and it's there, and it looks like, oh my god, that totally looks like a toy. It looks like the castle that showed up on the Escape from Midnight Castle movie in Generation 1. But with that said, I really like the fact that there is now a hall of friendship where all of the main six have their different thrones. They can sit upon them and they can discuss whatever matter they have. They have now a reunion, a meeting point, which seems to be more clear and more defined than the old library was.
But the library has such a cozy setup. You could just borrow a book, read.
That is definitely my only complaint about the episode. Narratively speaking, I cannot tell, because I'm not a very good writer and I'm definitely not a very good reader. So I cannot say, oh, this was good. This was very well done. To me, I didn't have any problem with how the story was told.
True.
So yeah, in that way, I think the episode really shines. I think this is Meghan's best work writing. Well, not her best. I will say her best writing work was with Sweet and Elite, which is my favorite episode of season 2.
All right.
But when it comes to writing two-parters, this one is really, really, really well written, at least from my perspective. But yeah, I think we should talk about favorite scenes or favorite moments, or like moments we should change, or say, oh wow, look at that. They may have. I wonder what they were thinking when doing that.
Oh, by the way, James, me and Silver, we have not shared our likes yet, but we could save it for the end.
Let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Silver, why don't you go first?
Well, I kind of touched on my likes. I mean, every dislike is sort of attached to a like, which is why both aspects stand out. Like, I like that the princesses are trying to comfort Twilight. I don't like how they kind of skewed the message.
Yeah.
But in terms of flat-out likes, I like Discord and his arc overall.
Yes.
I have heard the fan debate over whether or not this was planned. I'm kind of I'm drawn towards the idea that he was genuinely betrayed by Tyrek, in that, being that Discord doesn't know friendship, this is probably the best way for him to learn how much it means and how much it hurts when there's betrayal. So in that scene where Applejack throws his words back at him, surely you saw this coming.
Yeah, and he repeats what Fluttershy said.
I truly didn't, and don't call me Shirley. So that was a great moment by my eyes, as was the moment where the princesses, after they gave up their magic.
Oh, yeah.
And Celestia's mane isn't waving, nor is Luna's. They're weakened. They look like they haven't slept. And there's a real sense of sacrifice there.
That was heavy.
Not that they haven't just given up a power. They've given up a part of their identity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they lost their cutie marks. They don't have their talent anymore. It's gone. That was really hard to watch. It's like, oh my god, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, with me, I'm gonna say that I like the animation in this episode. It went smoothly during the songs. The hit turns were really good, and besides that, I just don't know what to say. I mean, animation is one thing. The story is awesome, and I don't want to be that one guy who said I called it because of that silly Dragon Ball reference I did a while back. But yeah, I called it.
Well, it definitely, if we speak about animation, definitely this episode shuts up everyone who was saying, oh, look at the animation in Season 4. It's getting so stiff and unnatural and not flowing any whatsoever. I think this episode just slams down their mouths like, you shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Look at this. This is so good. It looks great. When I just said about the castle not looking good or anything, it's the only thing that doesn't look good in the entire episode. The episode looks unbelievable. It's like the scope is huge. Okay, let's talk about the fight scene between Twilight and Tyrek.
Oh god, that was the most amazing fight scene I've seen in all of MLP. You thought the fight scene with the worm was good? Times 10 here.
Also because it follows one of Josh Whedon's favorite rules. It's like that fight scene takes place right after they destroy Twilight's library.
And the rule is?
The rule is that if you kill one of the main characters, you suddenly raise the stakes. It's like when he killed Wash in Serenity, or when he killed Agent Coulson in the Avengers. All of a sudden you have the feeling that anybody could just perish or get injured or like not come back. So suddenly that fight scene becomes a lot more engaging.
Okay.
And nobody messes with Twilight's books.
Oh, yes.
Silver, what do you think of the when they blow up the library? How hard did your soul crashed when that happened? Because because my God, it's like that book, that goddamn tree has been with us since season 1, since the first episode of season 1. It was home and they blew it up.
Well, this might be where spoilers came into play, because I knew she was getting a castle. I mean, it's on the DVD cover that's going to be coming out soon. So in some ways, the loss was tempered by the knowledge that we're going to get merchandising to fill the gap. And all I could think of was that movie Hot Fuzz. It doesn't really match the town's rustic aesthetic.
But honestly, for me, sorry?
Oh, no. Truth be told, the biggest thing is that the message from Pinky and Tradia about how special each one is and how Twilight wanted to keep them for sentimental value, I pushed against that, because at the end of the day, a thing can mean a lot, but your memories don't go away if that thing disappears, or in this case gets blown up.
That is true.
Everyone will have fond memories of it, but that I wasn't afraid that was going to hurt the show as much as I'd been afraid for this whole Princess Twilight debate at the outset.
Okay. I mean, with me and the tree, it's, how do I put this? If you really, really think about it and really sit down and, how do I put this? Yeah, sit down and really, really think about it, you are going to miss the tree, because the tree had so many memorable scenes. It was the first time where we saw Twilight become a Ponyta, and it was also the scene where Rarity and Applejack slept in one bed together with the sleepover thingy.
Yeah, it's like an entire episode took place there. They found the elements of harmony in there. It was the hub, basically, of some of the major episodes during the entire series, and now it's gone. However, think about it. You have Twilight is a princess. They actually address this in this episode. Tyrek goes, "Where is her castle?" And then Discord is like, "Castle? But she lives in a library." And I'm thinking, you know what? It's ridiculous that a princess lives in a library in the middle of a town. She needs a castle. I mean, every princess in this TV show has a castle. Cadence has the Crystal Palace. Luna and Celestia have Canterlot. Why is Twilight still living in her library?
That's true. But I'm going to finish my point on the library thing. That's if you really sit down and think about it. But in the moment kind of situation, it's just a background scene where, tree explode. Oh, okay, no place to hide. So Twilight needs to go somewhere and hide. So you can look at it as both ways, a plot narrative and nostalgia.
It does justify the fact that they have to turn the castle into that they have to come up with a new castle. And by the way, I am so happy that it's a new castle, because I don't know if you thought about this, Silver, but you remember how you mentioned that the Castle of the Two Sisters restoration is another plot point on the entire series, that they were doing it in Castlevania, then they bring it back in Power Ponies, and Twilight keeps talking about it, saying, "I found this book in the Castle of the Two Sisters," and I thought for a moment that, because I also saw that DVD cover, I thought, they are going to turn the Castle of the Two Sisters into that. I thought that was going to be the Castle of the Two Sisters Restore, because also the Chest of Harmony that was next to the Tree of Harmony, it was right below the Castle of the Two Sisters. It wasn't too far away from thinking, they're going to turn the Castle of the Two Sisters into that. I am so happy they didn't.
So I got a general question for everyone here. Did you think that they dropped the idea to make the Castle of the Two Sisters, like, drop it halfway through the season? Because think about it. In Castlevania, they were discovering places. And what was the other episode again? Power Ponies? They tried to restore it. So what was the whole point in the grand scheme of things? And did you think that they dropped the idea totally?
I don't know if they dropped it. I mean, it can still be a factor and, ironically, a backup library.
That is true.
Given that Twilight has probably been through every book in her library 5 times, just as a casual reader, let alone trying to solve an issue, the Castle of Two Sisters provided an inexplicably well-preserved library for new information, and so that can serve as a plot point or element. But part of me, when they were renovating it, I just would look at those open ceilings and say, "Ladies, why are you cleaning the carpets when it'll be ruined the next time it rains?"
But you do know that I think the Pegasus may have control over the Everfree Forest now, because
who knows? Everfree's been completely defanged.
Yeah.
The Everfree Forest has been completely untouched and unexplored since the season premiere. And the other time that I remember them going into it was with Philip and Illy when they went to visit Sekora, and they didn't do anything else with it. It's like it used to be this source of power and monsters, and all of a sudden it has become tame. But do you think it's because the Tree of Harmony has been restored, and now the Everfree Forest doesn't have that much amount of overwhelming power as before?
I'm going to say that, yes.
I'm going to wait and see and hope that they haven't made it completely docile. I mean, it had such great creatures in it.
Oh, no, the creatures are still there, but the unknown element, the spookiness, it's gone.
I don't think the Everfree Forest transmits that amount of fear anymore, but there are still timber wolves, cockatrices, manticores, Steve Magnet. I mean, there is such a big amount of monsters in there that should be explored.
True. Oh,
but
sorry.
Well, yeah, we're jumping off to like we are definitely going completely away from the two-parter. But I think aside from those issues, I think everything else in the two-parter works really well. Like narratively speaking, I think the rhythm is really good. You don't see the seams between one scene and another. It flows really well. It's not jarring or sudden. Even Discord's so to say turn to the dark side. It's almost not done completely, like all the way down. Whenever something happens, you can see that there is a bit of regret on his face.
Yeah.
Like when Tyrek drains the main 6 out of their magic, he cannot even look. he has to look away.
Talking about Tyrek, what do you guys think of this character? Because we haven't talked about him at all.
I liked him more when he was underpowered.
Really?
He was cunning, he was creepy, he was manipulative. He was this great villain, and to be honest, I like him. Keeping the Dragon Ball references going, I compare him to the first stage of Cell.
Oh yeah, that.
Who had to rely much more on wit and made him a more credible villain.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know who brought this up, but it's true, because as he suffers from the same thing. The more he evolves, the sillier he gets.
Not really silly, the more overconfident he gets.
Yeah, but it's like he gets bombastic, loud, shouty and everything. I will agree with Silver here, is that he looks more cunning, he looks more mysterious, he looks like you don't know how he looks like. But when he finally grows completely, he looks kind of like... Okay, he still looks like a very cool villain, but he looks kind of ridiculous, like with the Hellboy horns and all that.
But you know what, James? Like what Silver said, the Cell saga, with how he morphed into what he became in, like Cell. He became that creature we know. And comparing him to Tyrek, I do see the resemblance, like what Silver's trying to say. And it does work. It really works. I do, how do I put this? I agree. That's all I can say. I agree. It's a good comparison.
So do I.
And I have not thought about that.
Which is not to say I didn't enjoy him as this growing menace and how he completely... Poor shining armor. He is a jobber now. His sole purpose is to lose.
He hasn't won a single thing. He just keeps getting... Yeah, what the hell?
Hey, James, he did
What is with
won.
the male characters in this show?
Hey, James, he did win. He won Princess Caden's heart.
Nah, boo. Well, you know what? No, that is true. Well, he had Cadence's hell, but in the season 2 finale, they did kick Chrysalis into oblivion.
Mm-hmm. Let's still say they needed instructions from Twilight. Here's how you win.
No, but overall, the whole aspect where Twilight, there's a bad pun where she goes Super Saiyan. It's really interesting. I do like how she becomes overpowered, like literally overpowered.
I liked how well the fight scene was choreographed.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked how it didn't work, in that violence in this show has never truly solved the problem.
Yeah.
I think the only time a show of force really worked was with the Tatzelworm. And even then they just drove it back so we could get up and sneeze on them again.
That is true.
That is absolutely true. It goes to show that the fight scene in this episode is not used to solve anything. It's used to make a statement. Well, kind of like a double statement. First is that with violence you are not going anywhere. You have to find another means of tackling the situation, and that Tyrek and Twilight are both equally powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, and I think this is why they had to get rid of all the four of the. You know what? I think they had to get rid of the 4 princesses, because can you imagine this fight scene choreographing 4 alicorns at the same time? It will be insane. The amount of production cost that will go to animate that scene it will be like, okay, we have another 13 episode season, but that's because we have spent all the money on the last 2.
But James, by that point, you need to call Akira Toriyama to animate the fight scenes. Like, you have 4 you have 4 alicorns who is fighting this one overpowered guy. Can he fly? Nope, make him fly.
Impossible! This is impossible!
No, but still, the mention of you guys saying that violence doesn't solve anything in this world reminds me of that one pen and paper RPG, Savage Land, done by Rob something.
Savage Worlds.
Yeah, Savage Worlds. And it's an adaptation of the Savage World tabletop RPG into a pony fandom. And in that manual, violence doesn't really work. The best way to solve problem is by use your cunning wits and stuff. And fighting is the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, fighting is always the last resource. it keeps with the spirit of the show. But you know what? We are saying here, oh, violence doesn't solve anything, and then I'm thinking King Sombra got obliterated into pieces.
But if you do think about it, that was because of the Crystal Heart.
Yeah, every super weapon in this show, and a lot of people complain of, press a button, save the day. That's what the elements, rainbow power, crystal heart, that's what they all come to. But the thing I focus on is that all of those are based on an emotion that results in unity and a group effort. So in a way, it's more saying the feelings of working together solve a problem, and it just happens to blow up the bad guy. For kids.
Yeah.
It's for kids. Well, also, this is the first villain the main six defeat since Discord. Like Chrysalis got defeated by Shane Armor and Cadence. Sombra got defeated by Cadence and Spike out of all characters.
Yeah.
And so this one is the first one they defeat, and they don't completely kill him or anything. They banish him and they put him in a prison where he got banished.
Oh yeah.
Well, Sombra's the only one right now who may be pushing up daisies, and even then, you could justifiably bring him back from that stray horn.
Oh, true that.
If we ever find the horn, it's like the ending of Flash Gordon. We never know what happened with that horn.
Yeah.
But for you fans of Sombra, go read book number 17 because it features the Sombra arc. Really fun, really fun.
Go read the new MLP comics because they feature alternate King Sombra. You're gonna like it.
Yep. Oh my god, and he's so good looking.
But but you know the one thing that I'm amazed that we are not talking about this. We are not talking about the rainbow powers and about the rainbow connection arc that has been going on the entire series. Like the reveal of the keys, how all the objects came together. They make callbacks to previous episodes. This show has never had a very heavy amount of continuity. To be honest with you, I think the heaviest continuity that we have had in this show is when they were talking about the Great Galloping Gala in season 1. Mm-hmm. Remember how they were talking about the dresses and the tickets and all that, and we haven't had something like that until now with all the rainbow powers. So, what did you guys think of all the rainbow forms and the way that it was introduced?
Well, the rainbow forms themselves are an eyesore. Those oversized manes, the barrage of color. My eye is darting around because there's no focal points. Say what you will about the Elements of Harmony. They were a central piece around their necks, and you knew where your eye was supposed to be drawn.
But Silver, it does follow the theme of Dragon Ball.
Yes,
not really.
Even then, the hair was blonde. You focused on the hair. This one, it's poofy manes with rainbow stripes, glitter on their hooves, eccentric key marks. Oh my god, I think there's a face in there somewhere.
It's I cannot see a character under all this hair.
Sorry.
No, go on, Silver, please.
With the Rainbow Connection arc, overall, I mean, there were strong episodes, there were weaker episodes. Mm-hmm. All in all, I won't say there were any bad episodes. Weakest for me was Rainbow Falls.
Oh, really?
But the thing that I marveled at going into this is that the main six have not actively sought out these keys. In fact, other than Twilight talking about it in Castlemania, it's almost gone forgotten. But those background references on the library when you see the map of the blueprint of the box, and Twilight has been investigating on it. Mm-hmm. Investigating but not pursuing, which I kind of scratched my head over. But there's a funny moral in this, that the main six got their keys without knowing it. That when you don't know what to do, sticking to your morals stick to what makes you'll find a way if you just stay honest with that. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so it worked for me, even though it was not an active quest. It was one they completed by being true to who they are.
And not only that, but also inspiring others in the way.
True.
That is probably my favorite part of the entire two-parter. Is like I love the action scene, and I love Derek, and I love the songs, and I love that. But the best part for me on that entire two-parter is when "Let the Rainbow Remind You" song is playing, and you go through all over Equestria, and you can see all the other secondary characters that have been involved in all the Rainbow Key episodes. And you can see them, how their lives are different now. It's like you can see Coco Pommel working on Manhattan, and she's working with her sewing machine. She looks so happy. You can see Cheese Sandwich walking towards another location, towards another party with his friend Boneless 2. You see the Wonderballs flying together like a team, no fighting, no nothing. They are just all together. You see the Breezes in their land; they are all happy and all that. And you see Silver Shield. I don't remember what he was doing, but he seemed to be happy as well. It's like, and finally, the end with Discord, who has been fully redeemed. He's now a good guy. He has learned the lesson. He has finally discovered the true meaning of friendship. It's like it closes all the arcs so well. It closes all those characters. It's like, yes, you give them an ending. You give them a. It feels finite. It feels like they close that chapter of the book, and they close it really good with a very nice little bow, and it's like perfect. There you go, present.
A
and
rainbow.
It's like brilliant. A rainbow.
I see what you did there.
What is my CSI glasses? Good lord. Put one here, Norman. Put one here.
Okay, I'll try and see. Maybe not. I don't want to get YouTubed. No, but seriously, overall, the whole episode as a whole, part 1 and part 2, it feels complete. Aside the Discord trouble that I have, it is the most perfect episode I have ever seen. Like, I can't say anything much. The Discord trouble that I have is just a personal preference thing, because they were giving me mixed signals, but that's just me.
Yeah, the same with me, with the design of the castle, and I might add the design of the rainbow power forms. That I will agree with Silver there. They are an eyesore. It's not a deal breaker for me, but it's kind of like, ugh.
For me, with the rainbow cyan thing, didn't really bother me that much.
I will say, one of the commenters in your live stream, Arthur Crane, he raises the good point that Applejack and Rarity and Rainbow, Fluttershy, Pinky, they weren't as big participants in this story until the end. So it can feel a little unbalanced if they're your favorite characters and you feel like they're getting slighted. But at the same time, they served an important part. And my favorite thing is that, unlike Magical Mystery Cure, there's a strong sense that however the show goes forward, they'll definitely go forward together.
Yeah, it's like they may not have a big involvement in this episode, but this is a Twilight Sparkle episode.
Yeah, true that.
And we were talking about how Twilight has barely had any involvement in this season, is that she has been kind of like on the sidelines, not really addressing her princess status in many episodes, from Rarity Takes Manhattan to many others. But then again, every other episode has been a main 6 episode. It's been heavy on Applejack, it's been heavy on Pinky, it's been heavy on Rarity, it's been heavy on Fluttershy, it's been heavy on Rainbow Dash. Which, by the way, I think Rainbow Dash has had more development than all of those other characters put together.
True that.
At least from what I think is that they developed Rainbow Dash so much this season that they added her so much stuff and they played so much with her that it kind of feels unfair to all the other characters, but they all had their moments to shine. They all had their moments of the spotlight.
True.
It all comes together at the end of the season. When you think about it, it's like if they hadn't had those moments in their spotlight, those Rainbow Key episodes, there wouldn't be a power strong enough to defeat T-Rex.
Oh, true. And to mention that not giving enough airtime to favorite ponies and stuff. Remember Twilight Time? Yeah, so Twilight Time was a CMC episode.
But all we talk about is Twilight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't you have like an entire intro in one of your reviews, Silver, about how this is a Twilight Sparkle? It's not a Twilight Sparkle episode. It's a Cutie Crusaders episode.
Yeah, but at the time it was the only one that actually said, "Hey, here's a day-to-day life of Princess Twilight." except it really was just about Twilight Sparkle, the pony. So that's the craziness that comes with it.
Yeah,
Not Twilight Sparkle, the princess.
Yeah, but I do think that story does matter in the grand scope of everything. And in Twilight's Kingdom, it is a Twilight-centric episode, even though if it's a two-parter. But as we can see, the first episode was to build conflict. The second episode is to resolve conflict. So... Sorry?
Oh, yeah. No, continue, Norman.
Yeah. So if they don't feature any of the other main six, I don't really blame them that much, because you have a pending doom that is really huge hanging over everyone's head. And since the princesses say you cannot tell anyone that you got this upgrade +1 to your stat boost, so it's kind of not fair to the rest of the other main 5. So
that is true. It kind of like betrayed the confidence that she has put in them.
Yeah.
On all these other seasons.
But I can understand why Celestia said don't tell the others, because their life might be at risk.
But then, even if she doesn't tell them, their life is at risk again. That wasn't a problem for me, but I can understand why that can be a problem for anybody else.
Yeah, true that. I mean, like I said, it didn't bother me that much, but for other people, I don't know. Maybe you, Silver Quill, were you bothered by it?
Well, since that was one of the spoiler clips going into the episode, and so I was wondering, every accomplishment Twilight has managed has been with the support of her friends. She may be a quote-unquote chosen one archetype, but she's never done it alone. So part of me was wondering, Celestia, why are you hamstringing her here? Yeah, but at the end of the day, Twilight, in some ways, isolated herself. She always has the option to go against Celestia's decision, but she chose not to. Yeah. So I can't pin all the responsibility on one princess.
True, and I do see that in the characters, like you said, that Twilight could do this or could do that, but Twilight chose to be solo. She did not ask for her friends' help in this situation, because, like I said before, it's for their safety. That's what I'm going with. That's my story. I'm going to stick with it. James?
Okay. Well, no, is that I actually think we should just wrap it up, because we are kind of like going in circles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a circular episode, but it's fun.
It's so much to talk about. Like, we didn't even talk about everything we want to talk about.
No, is that I want to wrap it up, because I want to bring up another subject.
Right.
Because okay. Overall, guys, what did you think of the episode? Like, final statement to say, this is what we're going to. This is what what the developers and the distributors will put on the DVD cover and say, this episode was this episode was that, and then quote Norman Sanzo of the MBS show and a Silver Quill of After the Fact on YouTube.
Nobody's going to buy that, man.
Oh, come on. I will too. My mother will buy it.
but honestly speaking, for me, I totally enjoyed the episode. The story feels complete, and it was a perfect way to end the season. Like, it gave me ups and downs. It messed around with my feelings. I really felt for the characters. Like, I felt this Corck, even though I did not like his turn to the dark side as it is, but when he realized that he'd done goofed, it's crushing to see that he was feeling so down that he thought that he could not be trusted ever again. To me, perfect episode. 11 out of 10.
Ah, come on.
Goodbye.
Drop the microphone. What about you, Silver?
For me, the question of a good season finale has always been about connections and whether I'm really feeling a connection with the characters. And I definitely felt it in this two-parter, more so than Canterlot Wedding or the second half of Magical Mystery Cure. So in that way, it is my favorite of the finales and second favorite of the two-parters. Some questions stand out, and that has more to do with that formula I referred to earlier, rather than any weakness of the writing. I think it did great with that structure, but my hope is now that we've had such a great representation, it's time to look for a new structure.
And as for me, it's not my favorite of the two-parters. That one, actually, you know what? It's kind of like my third favorite. It's only below Princess Twilight Sparkle and the Crystal Empire as my favorite two-parters. It feels big, it feels engaging, but it also feels rather mellow up until the second part of the second episode. The whole two-parter is a build-up, and it has then a great payoff, and it closes every single door that it had opened during the entire season, and it wraps it up, and it gives it a feel of finality. It's like, if the series will end in this, I will be happy. Like, no complaints, no nothing. They have changed the status quo. They have done it really well. My only complaint comes from the design point of view, in that they have always been able to put in the product placement really well. In that you will see Twilight's balloon, you will see the Friendship Express, you will have Princess Twilight at the end. Let's bring the Crystal Ponies. Let's have Kate and Sunshine and Armor show up in the last episode without previous mention of it. And even though they were jarring before, they managed to kind of like work it in the narrative. This time, they didn't. You can totally see that the castle is a toy. You can see that the rainbow toys are... the rainbow powers are definitely toy ploy and all that. But you know what? They throw so much good at us that my complaint is just a petty nitpick. It's like it gets lost in an ocean of good things. So I am far away from complaining. 10 out of 10. Love these episodes. God, I cannot wait to see what comes on the next season.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, well, with that said, let's talk about what's the important part of this. Favorite episode of the season and least favorite episode of the season.
Ooh, that's a loaded question, man.
You know what? We're going to let Silver go on with this one, because I really want to know what was your favorite and least favorite.
I'm first on the firing line, is it?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Favorite. Well, I like to get the negativity out of the way. So,
good.
Least favorite episode was Some Pony to Watch Over Me.
Oh, really?
Wow, really?
Yes, the whole plot was driven by making Applejack unreasonably, crazy. She just went off the deep end because they needed to unbalance the most even keel of the main six. And so that really fell apart for me. Now, there were still parts I liked about it. It's not like, the worst thing ever, but it just didn't hold up overall. Favorite episode, despite loving Pinkie Pride, I'm giving it to Flight to the Finish.
Ooh. I knew it.
I mean, I wavered there back and forth for a while, but I'm going to go with Flight to the Finish because while Pinkie Pride had high entertainment value and great moments and character empathy, seeing Scootaloo struggle and really tackle this insecurity head on, and also pushing Time and Tiara to new levels of villainy.
Oh my God.
That episode really created a great emotional connection with the characters. And you really cheer for them as they come back together.
Also a great song.
Oh, true.
Yes,
true that.
very true.
Great song. And coming from a new writer and everything, I knew you were going to say Flight to the Finish, because when you reviewed that one, you said, this is probably going to be my favorite episode of the entire season. And I was like, you know what? That is awesome. That is a very good episode as well.
Okay.
What about you, Norman?
Oh, my. let's go for the episodes that I don't like.
Yeah.
Problem is, there's not much. But if I want to be really nitpicky, I would go for Simple Ways. Is it the one that with the
Tenderhoof.
Yeah, Trenderhoof. I mean, that was one of the episodes that you had to change my mind for it.
I don't want to control your mind, dude.
Oh, no. The thing is that I had problems with it until you explain it to me and point my views to this side and show me, look at it from this point of view. And, I kind of agree. It's much better this way. But overall, I mean, like, for episodes that I don't really like, not much, really. The episodes that I like, oh, boys, there's a few. And honestly speaking, I may be trolling. I'm not 100% sure, but most of the episodes that the fandom don't like. Like
Okay.
Daring Don't, Power Ponies, what would you call this? Equestria Games. Those are the most episodes that the fandom don't really like. Because
It ain't easy being breezes.
yeah, true. Same here. I mean,
It's kind of funny how that episode went down on the ratings.
yeah, but honestly speaking, they were good. But for overall favorite, that's gonna be hard for me because I like the whole season. The Princess Twilight Sparkle was not that
Big one,
great.
man. Stop
Yeah.
stop dancing around the issue. Big one.
Oh boy. Pinkie Pride was awesome. I like that one. I'm gonna pick 3. Pinkie Pride. Testing 1, 2, 3. That one was the lesson. And just for fun, Equestria Games. Those are the 3 I like.
All right. Well, okay. For me, least favorite episode out of the way, like you guys did, and then I can talk about my favorite one. I will say my least favorite episode is Leap of Faith.
Nailed it.
Mostly because of how forgettable the episode was. No disrespect to anyone who enjoyed it, of course, but for the love of me, I cannot remember the Flim Flam Brothers song. And I watched the episode like 5 times. Mm-hmm. Every time I watch that episode, I am like, oh, wait a minute, there is a song in this episode. That's right. And then when I finish it, I was like, I don't remember if there was a song in that episode. But now I know there is a song, but I cannot even hum it. I didn't understand Granny Smith's motivation. I think it was kind of like artificial, pull out of nowhere. All of a sudden, she used to be a swimmer. Why? Okay, like Ponyville suddenly trusts the Flim Flam Brothers again, even though they pretty much kicked them out during the Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 debacle. All right, and it sucks because this is the Applejack Key episode. This is supposed to be her episode, but it's good that the parts regarding her and her inner conflict and her inner turmoil and all that her insecurities, those are tackled very well. But it is the weakest episode for me. Now, for most favorite, and this comes from a season where I have like 10 episodes where I'll give them like a 10 out of 10 clean slate. I think I'm going to have to go with Rarity Takes Manhattan. And it has nothing to do with the fact that Rarity is my favorite character or anything, or that this is a great episode, probably best Rarity episode we have had since, because it is the first episode of Rarity that we have had in like 2 years. 2 years without Rarity episodes. I like this one because of the moral, because how well they introduce a background character arc for Coco Pomel. The song was great, the moral was great, and overall it felt like an episode that I can totally relate to. More than once I had my artwork stolen and had to fight for it and had to like confront other people that, hey, you took that is mine. How dare you? And had my friends to help me out get through that situation.
Oh yeah, that one time. Yeah, all right.
So for amount of like relativity that I can, how much I can relate to this to the episode and all that, Rarity Takes Manhattan is my favorite episode of the season.
All right. Okay, I do understand, and that was a really good episode too. Can't deny that.
Okay, wow. I don't know where to follow from here, but yeah. Shall we wrap it up, or
Before we wrap it up, favorite writer for season 4?
Oh, okay. You're still with us, right, Silver?
Always.
You're
I'm
so
always watching.
you're so super quiet. I don't want you to feel like we are ignoring you. We're not. I know there is a delay between you and us, but please feel free to intervene as many times as you want. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no worries. I don't like talking over people, but I've had more than enough opportunities to share my thoughts and been grateful for it. So no worries on that score.
It's awesome to have your run. It's wonderful. I take your opinion into account heavily. So yeah, favorite writer for this season, and like we did before, let's start with you, Silver.
Well, let's see here. If I'm going to put, actually, since I was such a big fan of Flight to the Finish, I'm going to give the nod to Ed Valentine.
Huh.
I'm just looking over the episode list, and it looks like that was the... No, wait, he also co-wrote Three's a Crowd. But yeah. I think I said in my review that when you have... I think there were actually 3 people working on that episode.
Three's a Crowd was written by him and Meghan McCarthy.
I found co-writing, that can be such a mess. Three's a Crowd... Ironically, the finale put a new spin on that episode. Because you see some of what will happen later represented in Discord's behavior. But at the time, I was just like, okay, that was fun, but I'm not taking a whole lot away from it. So more Ed Valentine for Flight to the Finish.
Flight to the Finish was a really good episode.
It was very good. Yeah.
I do like it. And like you mentioned before, Silver, the level of lowness that they put Diamond Tiara?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they put Diamond Tiara in was really low. It's like kicking a puppy kind of low.
Kick the dog kind of low.
No, dog can be vicious. Puppy, they're so cute. You kick it.
Well, it's the name of a trope. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about you, Norman? Favorite writer for season 4?
I don't want to be biased, but it's gonna be AKR, man. AKR is just awesome.
Amy Keating Rogers. Well, she had 3 perfect episodes this season. Why wouldn't you say she's the best?
Yeah, and the thing is, not to mention... Okay, I have to mention this because it could be biased by some other people. We interviewed her before, and that was after the Pinkie Pride episode. No, right after.
Yeah, it was after. Yeah, right after Pinkie Pride premiere, we interviewed her.
Yeah, so we got that exclusive, and that was so awesome and all, and that got me knowing her, and she's just awesome. And Pinkie Pride, the way that was written, the way that they kind of balance everything out between Pinkie Pie and cheese sandwich. And for reference, everyone, I do not like Pinkie Pie. In terms of main 6, she's my number 6.
She's your least favorite of the main 6.
Yeah, so that says a lot about her writing.
Which is funny because your favorite is Fluttershy and they're boys by the same.
Yeah, but
I have the Fluttershy. I have the Fluttershy coalition here because Silver also likes Fluttershy.
Yay.
Very much.
I am alone here as a Rarity fan. Oh, no.
But honestly speaking, Amy did a great job. And the thing that pushed me over was in testing 1, 2, 3 with Pinkie Pie again.
The Pinkie Pie rap. Oh,
yo. That scene. No matter how many times I look at it, it just brings a smile to my face. So, Amy Keating Rogers for the win. I can't wait to see her in season 5. James?
You know what? Okay. I'm going to... Okay, alright. So, how to say this? Because people are going to throw me a rock whenever I say this name. I think I'm just going to say it, and I'm going to try to get me out of the hole that everybody's going to throw me in.
Okay.
My favorite writer for season 4 is, without a doubt, hands down, Dave Polsky.
Dave Polsky, not Josh Haber?
No, Dave Polsky. If you look back to season 1, and if you read the comments that I was making about Dave Polsky during season 1 and 2, and I was thinking, oh my god, Dave Polsky rewrote Over a Barrel. That episode is a complete and absolute mess. The song is terrible. The characters are all unlikable. The main 6 are being absolutely stupid. And I'm like, oh my God, if this guy comes back to the show, this is going to be an absolute disaster. And then in season 3, he comes back and he writes 3 wonderful episodes and one that is just okay, at least for me. And I'm like, oh wow, this guy has completely changed. This doesn't feel like the same guy from season 1. And with season 4, he just cemented it. He wrote Daring Don't, Rarity Takes Manhattan, Twilight Time, For Whom the Suitable Toils, and Equestria Games. All of those episodes, they range from 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 for me. Actually, I will say, they are between, they are all perfect, awesome episodes that I absolutely adore. So he's proven that he gets the characters. He writes Rarity perfect in that every time he writes for her, she's just fantastic, not obnoxious or anything. She's just her. And he took the challenge of writing in a season that people were very much looking forward to. People wanted to see Darindu again. So he writes an episode of Darindu, loved it. He wrote the first Rarity episode since season 2. He nailed it. Perfect. He wrote for Princess Luna, which is something the fans really take a lot of attention to. They're like, if this guy doesn't get Luna good, we're going to rip him apart. Or, because everybody, the fandom loves Princess Luna, and it's really difficult to get her right.
Yeah.
And he took care of the Equestria Games episode, which not only was building up all the way from season 3, but it was building the entire season, because you saw in Rainbow Falls how the Ponyville relay team was preparing. You saw on Flight to the Finish how the Cutie Mark Crusaders were preparing. There was a lot of build-up for that. Mm-hmm. And this guy, he wrote all those episodes, and to me at least, he fulfilled a lot of things that I wanted to see, and he surprised in many regards. Like the dream sequences in For Whom the Suitable Toils, or revealing that Darindu is actually a real character. And I'm pretty sure not many fans like that, but I like the surprise element. I like that I couldn't predict this episode. That's why I like Daring Don't so much, is because I cannot see where this episode is going, and I am loving it. It's like, that is the sense of adventure, not knowing where it's taking you. Mm-hmm. So hands down, Dave Polsky, favorite writer for season 4.
Awesome. And still, to this day, I do not understand why people do not like Daring Don't. Did they destroy hit cannons?
I do understand it. One of the reasons is that they removed the fiction within fiction that was in the world of Equestria. Like, all of a sudden, this is not fiction. This actually is real, and it's part of the land.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be great? Because now you have an additional villain named Awizoto that could attack the main 6. Isn't that awesome?
But I can understand why people didn't like it.
Yeah, it has its own. It's a very personal preference episode.
It is. It's and it's kind of funny. It's the kind of episode that you either love or you hate. There is no middle. There is kind of no middle ground with it.
True that. But anywho, James, we'll be running for over an hour now.
That's fine, because this episode is really important. Like, this 2-parter closes so many things. It has to be discussed at length. You have to put also a disclaimer saying we are also discussing our favorite and least favorite episodes of the season. Watch to this part if you want to skip the episode review.
Oh, true that. Oh! Before we officially end, I need to plug something from Amy Keating Rogers. Be sure to get the Journal of the Two Sisters, because that ties in with season 4.
That one is being open for pre-order in Amazon, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But there have been some publishing disputes as of late.
They resolved it.
So
okay,
I heard so.
Yeah, but anywho, for people who do not know what I'm talking about, Amy Keating Rogers wrote the book, and the book correlates heavily on the diary of Twilight Sparkle, or the two sisters that was found in the Castle of the Two Sisters. So if you remember in Pinkie Pride, Pinkie wrote the lesson down in the book, but she did not mention what it is. It is written in the book. So if you're interested, go get it, man. And that's my plug.
I want to get it because it's Amy's writing, and she did bring up a very interesting point when we were interviewing her. Do you remember how in Pinkie Pride, Pinkie doesn't explicitly say what she's writing on the book?
Yeah, that's why I said. So,
but on the book, it actually is going to be there.
Yep. And not to mention that there's also some backlog diaries from Celestia and Luna.
As they enjoy death traps in their castle, signifying they need to get out more.
Could be. And I do hope there's a journal entry about Cadence. I hope.
Well, let's see what they do. I'm pretty sure there's going to be something there.
Yes.
God, I cannot wait to read the entry about the part when Luna had to, when Celestia had to banish Luna.
Oh.
I wonder how they're going to write it.
Yeah.
It's like, can you imagine, had to banish my sister to the moon, and then on the next page, have to buy bananas, milk, and a large bottle of soda. Also, have to rent the Golden Girls.
But you want to know what would be the perfect touch in that page, where if they do explain that Celestia needed to banish Luna to the moon, if there were teardrops in the page.
Dude, the ink just ran out because of the tears?
Yeah.
Oh! That'd be a nice touch.
Yeah. That'll be awesome. And all of a sudden, the journal, that's where it ends. There is no more entries, because now it's not the journal of the two sisters, because one of them is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that will be awesome. Yeah, that will be heavy.
That is just hit canon by now, but one can hope.
Let's see what they do.
Mm-hmm. Although I'll take an entry where Celestia writes, "I woke up this morning and there was this pink alicorn princess in the castle. What the heck?"
Her name was Poochie. Oh wait, no, that is from The Simpsons.
That would work. I can't do the gasp.
Oh God. Wish Beth was here right now. But anywho, James, we've been running long, so let's end this officially.
So that was our take on Twilight's Kingdom. It's episodes 25 and 26, and the next episode will not come back until 2015. There's no more episodes, guys.
Wait,
other to look forward to.
There's Equestria Girls, Rainbow Rocks. Yay, right?
I was actually going to bring up the comics, but never mind.
Okay, comics are much better then. Yeah.
I'll focus on the comics.
Yes, read the comics. And you know what? If you are of an open mind or whatever, give Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks a watch. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe it will surprise you. You don't know.
Oh, true that. I mean, I'm always open to more pony content, no matter if they're human or not. Because
I'm open too. If the music is good and it seems to be good, I am gonna be willing to give it a try.
Yep. And who knows? We might review that one in the future, maybe. Maybe.
As long as no one plays a ukulele, I'll be okay.
Damn.
What is with the ukulele hate, man?
I just think of Tiny Tim. Tiptoe through the tulips.
I was more thinking of Amy Keating Rogers, but Tiny Tim is much better, man.
I was thinking of Amy as well.
But Tiny Tim, wow.
I have no idea what Tiny Tim is. That's my stupid Spaniard speaking.
No problem,
sorry.
James. I'll explain it later.
Yes, this is more just me being an old guy talking. Your kids today, they're Amy Keating Rogers. Me.
Back in my day, we used to blow on the cartridge. Now what you have to do is clean the CD. This makes no sense. What is this steam pin that you're talking about?
But
I used to have one...
What is this? I don't even...
I used to have a controller with one joystick and one button. Now you have all of these buttons that they do nothing. Anyway, let's end this before we all go senile and forget where we are.
Okay.
So this has been James Corck.
And I have been Norman Sanzo.
And I'm Silver Quill, the man, the myth, the hippogriff.
Never gets old.
Thank you guys for watching these reviews for like the entire season, and let's hope that we can keep doing them on the next one, or who knows, maybe we can figure out something during the summer and do reviews of the comics.
Oh, that'll be awesome. I like that plan.
Yeah, who knows? Okay, Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Yay.
Bye-bye.
Sorry for the late post. Bye.
Adios.